Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is episode 5 of the Radical Healing and Recovery podcast. I'm your host, Stephanie R. Garris. I'm a licensed clinical social worker that specializes in obsessive compulsive disorder and anxiety disorders. And I'm also a fellow traveler. So maybe like you, I have OCD. However, because of my years of recovery work, I'm subclinical, meaning I don't meet criteria for diagnosis at this point. So, in this podcast, I like to share things that helped me on the recovery journey and the things that help my clients. And today's topic is about that feeling of being ready for recovery. I often see that doesn't actually happen, right? In my own recovery journey, I don't know that there ever is really a time where you feel ready, right? If you're having a great day, you might not want to purposely make yourself feel uncomfortable. If you're doing an exposure or you're facing a fear, you're doing something that's difficult. And if you're having a bad day, you might not want to get too stressed out, right? So I don't know that we ever really truly feel ready. But we can do things when we don't feel ready and do it anyway, right? For the sake of recovery. There's only one time when I see people, if I could describe a feeling of being ready, it's when the cost of staying the same is more expensive than the cost of changing. So, people that I've seen in a rock bottom moment, I know I've been there. And that's what led me to my own recovery journey, where your symptoms get so bad, there just really isn't a way to put it off anymore. Like it's something that you have to deal with. And then it's something that I took pretty seriously. And I'm glad I did. I've gotten a lot out of it. So today I want to talk about something that kind of inspired this topic today. I'll tell you, like, I view a lot of life as an exposure, doing things that make you feel uncomfortable because it's going to give you a skill. It's going to make you stronger. It's going to make you less sensitive to that thing. Everyday things, right? I've made videos about like going on roller coasters I don't like. I do like roller coasters, but I don't like every single one. Some of them make me feel really anxious. Um, One exposure that I'm not able to repeat a lot, so it still activates me, and it was bad, is getting my blood taken, which I did this morning, and got a shot afterward. And I know, like, for goodness sakes, I'm 35 years old. Like, why? But my brain in the past, I actually have passed out once. And so my brain would be like, you know, oh, like, they've taken too much blood from you. You're going to pass out. Like, you can't drive. You can't work today. You're going to feel weird all day. Like, this is really bad. And so, like, my brain would just keep looping back. Now, after my years of recovery, I understand that I was feeding it and feeding it and feeding it, which meant it would last all day, right? But like today, I think I might have done it a few times since I think I've done it like maybe 3 times since I passed out. And this has all been like, you know, on the recovery journey, right? So like I go and I know I'm going to get triggered and activated and I'm going to get those intrusive thoughts, but I don't respond to them and then it goes down really quickly, right? So how it happened was like this morning when I woke up, I was like, no, I don't know. Like I don't like it's going to be a whole thing. Do I need to do this? And I was pretty tired cuz I woke up in the night. And then I was like, yeah, it's not like I don't want to feel anxious. It's just like like I can do it another day. I'm pretty tired today. And then I was like, really, this is the best day for me to do this for as far as the eye can see. Like I don't have a lot of work today. Like not that that matters. I can still do this and go to work, but I was like, this is like primo time to go get your blood drawn, right? But I didn't want to. So I waited a little bit and I ended up going. And I just told the people, I was like, yeah, I've passed out before, but I know I just need to breathe. And that's what I did. Like, I was just breathing in for 4, out for 5. A lot of people pass out because they start to hyperventilate or their blood pressure drops really quickly, apparently, right? But I just breathed through the whole thing. The whole entire time. And you will not believe this lady came back and she was like, oh, I forgot the tuberculosis. I'm really sorry. And I was like, you know what? No. This is good. This is good for me. Let's go. In the past, this would have been like an 8, 9 out of 10. Today, I'm surprised. It was like it was low, but I had anticipated it was gonna be a lot. I know how to be anxious and it's fine, but it's kind of like, oh, do you want to deal with it? Okay, fine. Well, here's the thing. I don't want this to be something so scary and something that I dread having to do. For goodness sakes, like look around. Older people are doing it. Little kids do it. Like everybody, like a couple hundred people probably go in there every day and do it just in that place I went to. This is just a normal everyday thing that my brain is interpreting as danger, right? So then, yeah, she went back in and did it, and I was like, "This is a great exposure for me." And I let her know, I was like, "Yeah, this is an exposure for me. Like, for some reason, my brain tells me this stuff." And she's like, "Well, yeah, that's not logical." And I'm like, "You're right. It doesn't change the feeling, right? Knowing that it's logical, but we are riding that wave." And I was ready to ride the wave. I was ready to ride an 8 or 9 wave, right? Ended up being it wasn't that. I couldn't have really known that unless I actually did it, right? And then I had to go back upstairs and like I got this. I did it. I didn't want to do it. I was like, oh, I'll just come back. Like this is a lot for one day. No. I was like, I can handle this. I'm an adult and I'm gonna breathe through this and I can do this. Mind you, I have years of recovery. So exposure after exposure. Like this is my lifestyle. This is something that I've worked up to. I'm not saying like, everybody on the recovery journey needs to do the hardest thing. For me, this isn't like I've built up so much skill to be able to do this, right? So I was like, let's just go do it and we're going to breathe. And I did. And I just, I was a little activated for probably about like 10 minutes. Oh, and I had a protein bar like, and the thing was too is that I was like, okay, yeah, I fasted. And she's like, "Oh, well, if you pass out, like you shouldn't have even fasted at all." And my brain was like, "I shouldn't have fasted at all. It's really bad." And then I was like, "No, no. Like I'm not falling for that. Nope." I think she was just trying to be nice and I was like, "No, I got this. Like I can fast, I can breathe. It's all good." And I just had a protein bar afterward and I felt better. And I got my coffee cuz I didn't have any this morning and now I can. Good times. So, that was my exposure for today and it kind of sparked that like inspiration to think about like I didn't feel ready. I didn't want to do it. I was thinking of any excuse to not do it and I still did it and I'm so glad I did. I am so like I don't want to have this thing be a thing. And if it is for the rest of my life, I don't really care. Whatever, I'll do it. But I want to continue to face my fear because I know every single time I do it and I go toward my own fear as an exposure, then I get less sensitive to it. And that's my goal. So I just go back to my goals and values. And that's what kind of like motivated me. And then I thought, oh, I can have a coffee afterward. I'm going to eat my protein bar. I'm going to go home. I have this whole day. I was just thinking of things like to look forward to, not because I wanted to distract myself, but truthfully because like I wanted to redirect my focus. Like it's Friday, so there's, stuff to look forward to. So people can kind of get into this trap, right? Of being like, I'll do it when I'm less anxious. Definitely. I'll do it when I'm more confident. I'll do it when I have more energy. And I'll do it when life settles down. But like we talked about, sometimes readiness doesn't come before action. If you've heard of behavioral activation, we don't wait till we're motivated. We bring the behavior first. And if you continue doing the behavior, momentum will follow it, right? We already have a lot of momentum with avoidance, reassurance seeking, checking. We have momentum with our compulsions and safety behaviors, right? It's like there's so much force there. You just kind of dive right into it. When we're going the other way, there's a ton of resistance, right? We're creating a new way. And so that's always uncomfortable at first. But so willingness versus wanting to. Just because you don't want to doesn't mean you can't. You can be unwilling emotionally and still behave willingly. Avoidance is a compulsion and a safety behavior, and it teaches your brain, right, that the trigger that it's sending, in fact, is dangerous and that you cannot handle it. So if I would have this morning said, "Oh, you know what? I don't know. That's going to be a whole thing. I don't know about that." It was one time, but it's just one tiny little notch for my brain to be like, "Yeah, see, getting your blood taken, that's so stressful. Like, yeah, it's better to just stay home, right?" So then next time I go to do it, it's going to be more activating for me because I have a history with it, right? I have a history of becoming very activated. No, I want to show my brain I can handle this. And I went for it. I had two things happening here. As we've talked about before, right? You have the part of you that has that willingness that knows I don't want to do this, I don't like this, but this is for my recovery, right? Notice I didn't tell you that I waited until I wasn't scared or that I wasn't scared, right? I was still scared. But part of me knew that that fear, like, I was willing to see what was on the other side. I'm like, okay, really? This is dangerous? Let's find out. Let's really see that. And my brain's like, yeah, what if you pass out and you have to spend the day in the hospital and like they're really worried about you? I mean, do you see how like the stuck and the trapped start coming in there? A lot of us that have OCD and anxiety, that core fear is being stuck and trapped. So that kind of started creeping up. So I was like, oh, let's see what happens. I mean, we're saying that this is so uncomfortable and this is so dangerous. Let's actually see because I don't know. Like, that's not what I'm seeing, right? And so it's still in there and it's kind of smoldering in the background. And it's like, yeah, what if you pass out and you can't get it together? And what if you can't walk? And what if you can't drive? And what if you can't work today? And it's like that stuck and trapped feeling. And I'm like, well, let's see. Let's see if that happens, right? Well, part of me knows that that's really unlikely, right? But the feeling is still there. And I did it anyway, even with the feeling. And that's what that's what people on the OCD recovery journey do. We do exposures, we do things even though we're scared, right? And I'll tell you, this shows up in other areas for me still, like sometimes I have to have a difficult conversation with somebody that I really don't want to because I don't want to disappoint them or upset them. That's an exposure for me, right? Sometimes I make videos and I'm like, how are people going to take this? How's this going to look? Is this helpful? What does it mean? These are the kinds of things that still come up for me, and it's all about relying on those recovery skills and like moving forward. I don't know what happened here. I completed like 90% of a yoga teacher training. I started it 6 years ago. I think it was like that sort of perfectionism. I mean, there are practical reasons, like I got way busier and like it became less of a priority. I've still been practicing, of course, like all these years, but there was something about completing it that I think I was like scared to be like, oh, I'm a yoga teacher trainer. I have this certificate and like I did this thing and like this is part of my identity. It's like, oh, wait, hold on. Like, did I learn enough? Did I do enough? It's kind of like that feeling of like never having enough, never being done, right? Which OCD can certainly make you feel until I finally finished it. There was a fear there. There was something there that made it difficult. Like, wait, did I really deserve this? Did I really earn this? Did I really learn enough? And I'm like, Stephanie, you've been doing yoga for like 10, 11 years. 12 years, like really consistently, right? Like, why wouldn't you like have earned this? You did the reading, you like it's but it would never be enough. It's never going to be satisfied, right? It's not, there is no answer. It's like, you want to learn more, do the 300 hour. Like there's no, it's never going to stop, but I finally finished it. Like, was I ready to do that? No. Like it feels like a chore. It feels like something really difficult, but I did it anyway, right? And that's what I teach my clients. Like, it's your step, it's your choice. I'm never going to tell you what to do, but according to your own recovery journey and your own goals, like, can we consistently practice this thing that you're afraid of? You're not going to want to do it, right? And that's why I never say, do you want to do this exposure? I say, are you willing to do this exposure? Nobody wants to do an exposure, right? So this is an important thing to add, which is you shouldn't force yourself to do things and white knuckle through things, right? Um Sometimes we actually do have limits. I mean, there are going to be things that happen in life that you didn't plan for, and it's going to be it's going to be an exposure for you, and it's going to be difficult. I mean, we can't really, what are you going to do about that, right? Like, but you shouldn't force yourself to do exposures that you're not ready for. Do you know what I'm saying? And by that I mean, maybe ready is not a good word to use, but I mean like gradual steps, right? We don't need to do the hardest thing at first. Tiny things, bridges, right? And also, we're getting out of that perfectionism. Like, it needs to be perfect. I need to do recovery right. I'm failing at recovery. Like, we want to get out of that duel and, like, oh, I realized, oops, I was doing a compulsion. Okay, I recognize that now, right? Little steps, little tiny things. I was going to do this compulsion. I waited 5 minutes. I handled the distress and I still did it, but okay, I held the distress for 5 minutes, right? That is living recovery, taking those tiny steps. It takes a while, right? To retrain your brain, to build up these skills. This is not a switch. It's not something you turn on and off, right? It's tiny, tiny steps. And when I speak about all of these things, I'm telling you, I had years of recovery where I was writing in my journal every single day, tracking and reducing my compulsions, recognizing compulsions, having themes change, like practicing distress tolerance, and working on just my base, like my life skills, right? Like communication skills, distress tolerance skills. Like, these are skills for life. Recovery is going to teach you skills that you can use for the rest of your life. So, if there is something that you need to do and you know that your anxiety is coming up, I really want you to ask yourself, are we practicing avoidance? Is this something that we can reasonably handle, that we're willing to? Does this align with your recovery goals? And if you want to change your plans, ask yourself if you're changing your plans because you actually need to, or because you want relief from the feeling, because that's really a big part of the work that we're doing. Is we're learning to sit with discomfort and let it pass. We keep treating the discomfort like it's an emergency. Like I talked with you guys today, I was uncomfortable. I did not want to go. I anticipated dealing with a 9 out of 10 trigger and ended up not being one. I was willing to deal with it. Remember, I've built my skill up, right? To be able to say, you know what, I'm going to go for it, right? And I want to ask you, now that we spent some time talking about this, if you are in a situation where you have been waiting to feel ready, what are you waiting to feel ready for exactly? And what would feeling ready actually look like for you? And then I'd like you to ask yourself, what is one small step you could take before you feel ready? Something small, like we talked about, taking tiny steps, right? Not, I need to face this fear and get over it right now and feel better. No, not do the whole thing, not stop being anxious, just a tiny step that we can take toward recovery. One small thing, putting off a compulsion, doing something alone, asking for something that you wouldn't normally ask for because you're afraid to, right? Um, Tiny things that you can do within the day, little things like little reps. That's really what we're looking for. And believe me, they add up. When we have OCD or anxiety, we have an all or nothing mindset sometimes. So these little things feel like not helpful, right? It's like, what is that? That's nothing. I want this. And it's like, no, trust me. The time goes on, the days go on, and those little reps that you're doing actually do make a difference, right? So I want you to think about what you can do. And just remember, you don't have to feel ready. Sometimes readiness is something you discover after you've already started. Remember, behavioral activation, right? You don't gotta wait till you're ready. We don't have to feel better before we start, right? Even just a tiny thing. And if you do decide to do it, tell me about it. Write to me. Leave a comment. And also, don't forget, I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear what topics you want me to talk about. Right now, I'm just talking to myself, and whoever wants to listen, that's cool. I'm just gonna keep doing it. So yeah, let me know if there's anything specific you want me to talk about. And have a good day. Thank you for listening. Bye.